Hello everyone, welcome to our math class. My name is Ms. Quintanilla. Today we are going to be diving into the fascinating world of geometry, more specifically, area of rectangles and parallelograms. So grab your thinking caps and let's get started. Alrighty, so let's kick things off with a review. What exactly is area? Well, area is the measure of a space enclosed within a shape. Imagine as if this rectangle was a living room and you need to cover your entire living room with carpet. Interesting, right? You'd need to find the area of said space. Now our goal today is to understand how to calculate the area of rectangles and parallelograms. So let's jump right into our lesson. Here on the board, you see a few formulas. Let's focus on the rectangles first. The formula to find the area of a rectangle is simply multiplying the length times the width. Seems easy enough, right? Now let me walk you through a couple of examples for rectangles. Right here I have clearly labeled our length and our width. The length is the bottom or long side of said rectangle. The width is the shorter end. In this rectangle, we see that our length is 5 and our width is 2. So 5 times 2 would be 10. So that means the area of this rectangle would be 10. Now, depending on whatever units you are using, you will add that to the end of your formula. Now, let's go ahead and dive into our next example. So if we were to multiply our length times our base, which is 6 and 25, we would get 150. So our answer to fill up this whole space would be 150. Next up, we have parallelograms. This formula looks a bit similar to our rectangles formula. To get the area of a parallelogram, you would have to multiply the base times the height. Think of it as the foundation supporting the space inside. I'll demonstrate a few calculations and encourage you to ask questions. This is a safe space for learning, so no question is a dumb question. Before I get into that, I would like to mention that because these seem pretty familiar, if you pick up on the area of a rectangle faster than you do a parallelogram, think of this as your key. Your base is the same as your length. The base is the long end at the bottom. The base is supporting the rest of the space. So your base is almost like the same as your length. Your height is the same as your width. Almost. There is a key difference there. Let me explain. Looking at our first example here for our parallelograms, we see 3 different numbers on this parallelogram. Unfortunately, in a lot of our tests and assignments, we have a lot of trick questions to see if the student understands and fully grasps what they have in front of them. So for here, we see our base is 10, our long side that is supporting our space. And we see that 12 is on our side over here. But this wouldn't necessarily be our height because it is a slanted line. We would need to find a right angle inside said parallelogram. So inside here, we are able to cut down right here to make a right triangle, almost as if we were to remove this right triangle here and replace it on this end here. It would make a perfect rectangle. So our height here is labeled as 7. So instead of multiplying 10 times 12, we're going to be multiplying 10 times 7. 10 times 7 would equal 70. So our area of this parallelogram would be 70. Now let's go down here without these practice words. We see that our base is labeled 18, and right here on the outside edge here we have 26. But remember, that is not our height. Now remember, this is not our height. We are going to have to cut off a right triangle here on the side and put it on the opposite end to make that perfect rectangle. The height of this right triangle is 3. So instead of multiplying 26 times 18, we'd be multiplying 18 times 3. So 18 times 3 would equal 54. Alrighty, I do have an interactive activity planned for you guys today. I would be handing out for said lesson grid paper, various construction colored paper, colored pencils, scissors, and glue sticks. How is this going to work? Your task will be to draw out and cut out rectangles and parallelograms, label them whatever your preferred length and width, base and height, your preference, totally up to you, and we'll see how you and your table, you and your group, will be able to solve each other's problems. Don't forget to get creative and use those colored pencils. Once your shapes are ready, you can calculate and paste them onto your papers and find their areas using the formulas we have just discovered. And you can go ahead and decorate them and color them in with however way you feel, so that way you can give them your own personal touch. After you're done doing your interactive hands-on assignment, we will then be going into a group discussion. We would gather everyone in small groups, preferably groups of 3 or more. We would then share our findings with our classmates and our peers. We would talk about the similarities and differences between our rectangles and our parallelograms. After you're done discussing with your classmates, I would then call on a few groups to come up and present some of their findings. You don't have to present everything, and even if you don't want to present, that is totally fine. You can present it to me one-on-one in your own personal time, so that way there's no pressure. And if you do want to present and share, you can only present one or all of your findings. Embrace those mathematical discussions. This is a safe space. Wrapping up on, again, the area of rectangles and parallelograms. Our rectangle formula is the length times the width. Our parallelogram area is the base times the height. Reminder that the area is the filled in space inside of said shape. Think of those real world scenarios. If you were to want to put hardwood floor down on a carpeted area, you'd take off the carpet, try to find the area of the floor space so you know how much floor plates you need. Let's have a quick revision. The area of a rectangle is the length times the width. The area of a parallelogram is the base times the height. These formulas will be our mathematical tools. We would need to memorize these to be able to do our work and our homework properly. Yes, I will be assigning homework. It is a very, very simple assignment. Easier said than done, but it is only 4 questions, and honestly, if you are done with your work earlier, you may do it here in class, and you can come up to me and ask any questions if you need them. And that concludes our exploration of area with triangles and parallelograms. Remember, math is all around us in shapes as we see every day. Keep those curious minds engaged, and I'll see you guys in next class. Happy learning. Hope you have a great day.